this morning, sun's a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it, guys. Let's get this show on the road. Let's kick this can right into the show, guys. Let's do it to it. My name is Ron Tyler. I'm the President of Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kittiack Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our program today. Guys, we've got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to get right into it. The first thing I want to do is talk about where that storm is that was down in the Gulf of America. Arthur came ashore today up in southeastern Texas. It came ashore in southeastern Texas. I'm going to play Fox News here for you to tell you exactly what happened this morning and also what's going on right now.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. Tonight, it is extreme southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana's turn to feel the wrath of now tropical storm Harvey. The re-energized remnants of the deadly hurricane dumping several inches of rain in that region on top of the drenching already received. Authorities believe at least 23 people have been killed since Harvey made landfall. Houston saw the sun a bit today, but the nation's fourth largest city is still inundated from the worst tropical rainfall event in U.S. history, with thousands of people seeking shelter tonight. Correspondent Steve Harrigan joins us tonight from Coots, just north of Beaumont. Hello, Steve.
Brett, when you get 49 inches of rain in just 5 days, you get towns that are completely surrounded by water. These two men are headed out to Sour Lake. It's 16 miles away, population 10,000, and right now it is completely cut off. the Lone Star State sharing in Harvey's misery. The storm now focusing its energy on Gulf communities around Beaumont, near where it made landfall overnight. Port Arthur's mayor says the entire city is now underwater. This nursing home in Port Arthur among the facilities being evacuated quickly.
Some of the nurses have said that the patients were in the water for up to 24 hours. Tensions were at a very high level when I came into this facility from the relatives and even from some of the volunteers who had come to try to take these people out.
Desperate family members are posting on social media photos with pleas for help, seeking any information on missing or isolated relatives and friends. Across East Texas, touching acts of kindness and bravery. These men trapped for hours in trees, rescued by an armada of volunteers. And this human chain to help a pregnant woman who went into labor get to the hospital. Also to the rescue, 24,000 National Guard forces will soon be on the ground in Texas. Around Houston, a sight for soggy eyes. The sun rising for the first time since Friday. Officials say nearly all of the area waterways have crested, but search and rescue operations remain in full force.
We are still very much in the emergency response phase of this historic storm.
At least 21 people have been killed by the storm, including a family of 6, believed to be riding this van found today. 18,000 rescued so far across the state, including this baby, airlifted in College Station. With damage estimates conservatively pegged at $160 billion and nearly 50,000 homes damaged in the Houston area alone, officials say many residents will not have much to return to.
When water sits in a house for several weeks, the house begins to degrade.
More than 32,000 people across Texas remain in temporary shelters. This one in Port Arthur is flooded, creating unsafe conditions.
People slipping and falling, this don't make no sense. Very, very, very unsanitary.
Another concern for first responders, looting. An overnight curfew in Houston is being strictly enforced to prevent thefts, armed robberies, and those impersonating police officers. Some residents understand the temptation, but aren't taking chances.
I think it's a combination of desperation, people needing things, don't have cash, just a lot of people just taking advantage of the opportunity. I don't typically ride with my pistol, but I have it right now.
All day long, these volunteers have been pulling people out of subdivisions. To my left, to my right, men, women. I saw one toddler little girl with a knapsack on her back, all prepared for a destination to who knows where. Brett?
Amazing story. Steve, thank you.
You can put this bra...
Guys, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. This report's continuing. Give me just a second here. I can't let the commercial go free. An error occurred. Go figure. Guys, a lot of things have happened there. Okay? Things are continuing. Let me give you some more information about this storm. Okay? After this storm went ashore, started going up into southwestern Texas, or southeastern Texas, going into Louisiana, it's already in New Orleans as well. New Orleans City Council and Weather Service, the National Weather Service, and Emergency Management and Homeland Security are in New Orleans right now trying to help those people. The waters have gone up and over the banks of rivers, bayous, and creeks over there. Things are very bad in New Orleans as well, as you might well imagine. New Orleans is underwater. Much of New Orleans is again underwater, similar to what we had during Hurricane Katrina. Underwater. Some of the levees are still holding. I want to repeat that. Several of the levees are still holding. If they get much more rain, guys, things could get really bad in and around New Orleans. As the storm moves through Louisiana, moves up north into Arkansas and Missouri, those areas are also going to get hit with very bad rain, heavy rain, up to 4 inches to 6 inches of rain in the next, I want to say, 24 hours. As the storm completely moves through, it's going to go up here into Tennessee and North Carolina. North Carolina, guys. Guess what's going to happen here? Okay? We're expecting to see thunderstorms within the next 2 to 3 hours here in Morganton, where I live. In Morganton, where I live, guys. Thunderstorms and rain. Heavy thunderstorms and rain. Some of these thunderstorms, as we reported yesterday and the day before that when we talked about Tropical Storm Arthur here, we said the thunderstorms would pull off tornadoes as well. That's the truth. They will sprout tornadoes as well. Okay? Now, I have a slide here just a second. Okay, I have a slide. I didn't put it on my database here to show you on the software on our computer here, but I want to show you what's happening. Okay? Now, right here, you see the storm's already come ashore. It's crossing New Orleans into Arkansas, up into Tennessee. And then it's going to come up here where I am at. We're going to tonight see these thunderstorms here come over here to Morganton, coming here into the mountains of North Carolina, and also move over here to the east. As these storms continue here, coming into North Carolina by morning time, 7 o'clock, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're going to have Tropical Storm Arthur come up here into the mountains of North Carolina and continue east over into Raleigh, Charlotte, Durham area of North Carolina. We're going to have heavy rain tonight into tomorrow, probably until about noon tomorrow. That's what's forecast. That is what's forecast, guys. Tropical Storm Arthur is now ashore, came across over in southeastern Texas into southwestern Louisiana, again going up into Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, and over here into North Carolina. This is going to happen. I guarantee it's going to happen, guys. We're going to see heavy thunderstorms. All of you that live here in the East Coast area, you're going to also see remnants of this storm as well. Okay? Now, with that said, just give me just a second. Let me see if I can bring this up as a slide here on a program so I can truly show you exactly what's going on here. Just give me a second here. I already have it. Give me just a second. Okay. Unfortunately, I've got to start from the very basics here. Just a second. I'll get it for you. Okay, I got it right here. This is what's going to happen, guys. Look at this storm. coming out of Texas into New Orleans area here, up into Arkansas. It's going to move up into southeastern Missouri, Tennessee area, and go up here into North Carolina, where I live. Tonight, see all these thunderstorms here where I live? See all these thunderstorms where I live? They're coming through right now. I can look out my window now and see these heavy, dark, black, and gray clouds coming through. We're going to see some thunderstorms, a possibility of tornadoes also tonight. As the storm moves over to the northeast here, goes across, like I said, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, comes here in North Carolina, all of us as well, possibly even South Carolina, are going to get hit with this storm. Everybody here needs to prepare. Everybody here needs to prepare, guys. This is a storm that could last a long while, okay? This may stall out as well. If this storm stalls out, we're going to get even more water. Meteorologists and the emergency preparedness people, including Homeland Security people here in these states, are worried about this storm stalling out and being very flooded in various areas. Morganton has some low areas where we live. Morganton has some very low areas where we live. We could get stalled out here, and many areas will get flooded. Everybody needs to prepare for that possibility, guys. Everyone needs to prepare for that probability. It can happen. We already saw what happened in Texas. You saw that van of 6 people, a family, that ran off the road in heavy water, and they weren't rescued. They died in that van. Nobody wants to have that happen. If you live on the lower floors of homes, make sure you get sandbags. Make sure you sandbag, guys. This is of utmost importance here. Make sure you sandbag. This sandbagging could save your lives here. The sandbagging could save your lives. That's very important. Do we have any questions from anybody about this storm? I want to make sure we answer any questions here. Yes, Hurricane Heather, I am good at this point in time. Right now, we have these thunderstorms you see here passing by. Some of these thunderstorms are only rain. Some of the storm is only rain, but these orange, yellow, and orange, dark orange and brown areas that you see here are coming through as thunderstorms, small thunderstorms. And as you know, I've talked about this before, as these thunderstorms roll by, the outer bands of the thunderstorm can pass off tornadoes. The outer bands of the thunderstorm can pass off tornadoes. There is a possibility of several tornadoes in play here sometime tonight into tomorrow, as well as heavy rain and flooding. I want to make sure everybody's aware of this. I want to make sure everybody is very aware of this. This is important. We're trying to save lives here. That's why we talk about this. We're trying to save lives here. Okay? Yes, the Cajun Navy, Task Force 1 in Texas, was very good about rescuing people. I saw last night video from Texas, especially in around Houston area, of jet skis going around rescuing people. Yes, jet skis, not just boats, but jet skis. You saw a woman in a wheelchair being rolled through floodwaters to a rescue place, and you saw a elderly assisted living facility where these patients had been exposed to floodwaters for about 6 hours. It's bad. It's very bad. Even though the care facility had nurses and doctors on call right there on the scene, they can do very little except try to make patients comfortable until these rescue teams got to the care facility to get those people out. Nurses and doctors were also exposed to the floodwaters. That can't be good, guys. Floodwaters contain diseases. That's why it's important not to go there, not to be exposed to those floodwaters. But again, they used boats and jet skis in Texas last night to rescue people. That's pertinent. It's very important to understand. Guys, don't take any chances. If these floodwaters, these heavy rain floodwaters come to you either in Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, or North Carolina tonight, tomorrow, make sure you are prepared. Go now and get sandbags from either Home Depot or Lowe's. Get sandbags, sand, and other material to help sandbag your home and keep it safe and dry. Do that. Those of you who live in low-lying areas, either motorhome or mobile homes, or even in apartments and such, or you have a home in that area that's very low-lying, get out of there. Go to higher ground for the time being. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're safe, guys. It's important. Any questions now? Linda Covington's there in Virginia. She says she has dog calming medication ready. That's a good thing. Make sure your dogs, cats, and other pets are also taken care of. Don't forget them. They are family members as well. We talked about this before. Make sure four-legged family members are also taken care of. Make sure they have fresh water, number one, and fresh food, number two. Make sure they're well taken care of. These floods can be very dangerous. These flooding is very dangerous, guys. Hurricane Heather said in the chat, right now, today, flooding is going to be a serious concern due to the rainfall forecast and the totals that are coming in. That can add up very quickly. They add, in some cases, every 15 minutes of 1 inch of rain falling. 1 inch of rain every 15 minutes. That's huge. Those are huge numbers. 12 inches of rain at one point. That's huge. Renee Sevi says tornado warning has been issued for West Brookfield, Massachusetts until 6:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Guys, there's also, okay, let me bring this map over here. There are tornadoes going over here from Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, and in Arkansas and Tennessee. Okay, we're going to see tornado warnings, guys. We're going to see tornadoes and warnings and tornado watches. Be very safe out there. Be very safe out there, guys. Okay, any questions? I see Josh Kelly here. My friend George Rashad, I saw earlier. Want to welcome all of you to our channel. We appreciate you being here. Guys, if you're new to our channel, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe to our channel, this goes for other people that are already subscribed. Sometimes YouTube unsubscribes you. To stay subscribed, make sure you check and make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, resubscribe and also click on that little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon, guys. That will get you notified when we come on the air. When you click on that little bell icon, there'll be a drop-down menu of 3 items. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified whenever we come on the air. In an emergency, we will come on the air as soon as the information becomes available. We need to share with everybody. We've done that in the middle of the night, late at night, middle of the morning, early in the morning, doesn't matter. We'll come on the air and tell you about it, the emergency, as soon as the information becomes available. When we've had tornadoes, when we have thunderstorms, when we've had blizzards, when we've had shootings, when we've had oil refiners blow up, we've been on there to talk about it. When we had that train derailment in Ohio, we came on the air to talk about it. We always do that. We want to make sure people are safe and have up-to-date information about what they need to be doing to save their lives. That's why we talk about emergency preparedness as well. Okay, we do that. We do that all the time. That's normal for us. That is very normal for us. These things are going to happen. Unfortunately, they don't go away. They do not go away very fast at all. Sometimes they don't go away at all, period, unfortunately. Now, what else can happen? What else can happen? Let me tell you this, okay? Yes, we have some earthquakes going on all around the globe. Literally all around the globe, okay? USGS is hardly showing anything going on. I've got my device here to show you earthquakes around the world from the European Agency. European Agency puts up about 90-95% of everything going on. Now, I'm going to take down a webcam here for a minute. I'm going to take down our EMA banner here and show you what's going on. Okay? Now, when it comes to the USGS map, like I said, the USGS doesn't always tell us exactly what's going on. They never do. Over here south of the Philippines, they're showing 2 earthquakes here today. This is just one more earthquake that's hit here, southeast of Davao, Philippines, southeast of Davao City, Philippines here. This is a 5.3 earthquake here. 5.3 earthquake here, large earthquake, large damaging earthquake. However, this is 63 miles offshore. That means, for the most part, the ocean waters from the Philippine Sea here absorbed the shock waves from this quake. Down further south here, right here, this earthquake hit just very close to shore here. A half mile from Cablanjan, Philippines. This is a 5.3 earthquake. This is a 5.3 earthquake, just barely offshore here. Like I said, 1 kilometer, 1/2 mile south of Cablanjan, Kablaljal, Kablaljal, Philippines. Okay, offshore, half mile, 5.3 earthquake, guys. When this happens, the people onshore feel most of this earthquake. They feel most of the earthquake. When it's very close to shore like that, they feel most of the earthquake. When it's offshore, the seismic waves tend to be absorbed by the ocean water. So people onshore don't feel them. In this case, this is only half mile offshore. They felt this earthquake. Every time people here on land feel an earthquake like this, when they've had a major earthquake hit. Yes, they had a major earthquake hit a week ago, Monday. They have rescuers here. Even the rescues have to back out of where they're rescuing people to make sure they don't get trapped in the debris themselves. Rescuers have to back off. The other people who live here are totally scared every time one of these large earthquakes hit. Yes, they've been hit with large earthquakes, moderate 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes as well, that normally will knock pictures off of walls, knickknacks and books off of shelves, rattle dishes and plates and glasses in cupboards. If those cupboard doors aren't secured, those plates, glasses, and dishes fall out of the shelving and break. Okay? They also move furniture around the floorway. They move furniture along the floors. Unreal. I've seen it happen. I've been to earthquakes before. Been there, done it. Now, guys, USGS is not showing anything at all. Basically nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's a sad state of affairs, as I said before. Very sad. Guys, we're going to tell you the truth here. We are always going to tell you the truth of what's going on here. Now, as I'm bringing up the EMSC, the European map, I'm going to show you a lot more earthquakes than this. I'll show you a lot more earthquakes than this. Okay? Let me bring up a webcam here. Bring up our webcam. I'm moving Philippines over here so you can see what we're doing with our webcam as well. Okay? Look at all these earthquakes here. Yes, we showed you this 5.3 earthquake off the coast of Davao, Philippines, out here to the east. That 5.0 earthquake down here to the south rattled people's cages here. But look at the other earthquakes as well. These other earthquakes are mostly offshore. Mostly offshore. Now, let me do something here. Look at these other earthquakes here. Some of these other earthquakes are on land here. They're on land. Okay? Let's go over here to the coastline of Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao, Philippines is that island here, the largest island here in the Philippines here. This is called Mindanao, Philippines. The largest island just has to be the largest island in the south part of Philippines here. Okay? USGS is showing us 2 earthquakes. There's a lot more. There's like 46 earthquakes here in the Philippines today. This is a small 3.8 earthquake here, right along the coastline here, right along the southern coastline here. Now, guys, there's more. See this earthquake here? This shows us offshore. Guess what? It's there. Just a second, guys. It's unreal, guys. It's unreal. Now, guys, this happens. Unfortunately, this happens all the time. Literally all the time. The agency doesn't show us everything that's going on. They never do. They honestly never do. That 5.3 earthquake that USGS says is offshore, guess what? Guess what? It's not. The European agency is showing it onshore, right there. On land, right there. Okay? That's a big deal. That's a huge deal, guys. The earthquake hit right here, apparently. 5.3 earthquake, large earthquake, had a depth of 41 miles deep. 41 miles deep is still a very shallow quake. Very shallow quake. Very, very shallow quake. People felt that. 5.3 large earthquake. Yet USGS is still calling this moderate. Moderate. It's not moderate. These earthquakes, these 5.0, 5.9 earthquakes can cause a lot of damage. What they are calling moderate earthquakes, guys, are large earthquakes. But it's not true. They don't cause moderate damage, they cause a large amount of damage. That's originally why they were called large earthquakes. Last year at this time, USGS decided to change the designation to moderate to try to take people and say, oh, it's okay. It's only a moderate quake. Only a moderate quake, guys. It's more dangerous than that. For example, south of Mindanao, Philippines here, this is a 4.0 large earthquake, or 4.0 moderate earthquake here. 4.0 moderate earthquake. 4.0 moderate earthquakes can knock pictures off the walls, rattle dishes and glasses and plates and cupboards enough so they rattle around, they may fall out of the cupboards. Knock books and knickknacks off of shelves. Moderate earthquakes. 5.0, 5.9 can cause damage, major damage, major damage. Moderate earthquakes can cause moderate damage, moderate damage. Okay, there are all kinds of earthquakes around the area, all around the world. But I want to show you this because USGS shows 2 earthquakes. There are 48 earthquakes around here. 48 earthquakes. It's sad that USGS would only have 2. They're showing 2 earthquakes here in Indonesia. Only 2 earthquakes here in Indonesia. That's sad. That's horribly sad. Horribly sad. There are like 80 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. 80. Down from 98 yesterday. Down from 98 yesterday. We're not even showing all of Indonesia here. This is Sumatra, Indonesia over here to the northwest. 80 plus earthquakes here in Indonesia. Some of these earthquakes in Indonesia here, northern Indonesia here, those earthquakes are also caused by that large earthquake that hit the Philippines. Okay? Aftershocks. Aftershocks stretch from the Philippines last Monday, stretched from the Philippines all the way down here into northern Indonesia, and it's continuing. Those earthquakes are continuing. Yes, earthquakes here in Indonesia are 2.6 minor earthquakes. 2.6 and 3.0 small earthquakes here in northern Indonesia. Northern Indonesia. This is a 3.2 here in the Molucca Sea here in Indonesia. Minor and small quakes here, aftershocks from the Philippine quake last Monday. They're going to continue to hit here. They're going to continue to hit here for weeks, months, and possibly even years. That's what happens when you have a major earthquake hit. Okay, it happens. That's normal. It's normal. But what is not normal is for the preeminent seismic agency of the world to say, oh, nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. Everybody has a reason to want to know why we are getting shaken. Why we're getting shaken. Why? Because these earthquakes that hit are falling fault lines. Earthquakes are hitting falling fault lines, including the tectonic edges of the tectonic plates. When those earthquakes follow these fault lines, these earthquakes move. The seismic energy moves into other surrounding areas. I've explained this before. Okay, they move. Everybody has a right to know what's going on around where they live. Notice this map of Australia. USGS showing nothing going on in Australia. However, southeastern Australia, we see some earthquakes. USGS is not reporting them, but the European agency is. Wilkenia, Australia. Wilkenia, Australia. This is a 3.2 small earthquake there. 3.2 small earthquake here in New South Wales, Australia. Further south to the east here. Further south here to the east. This is another 3.4 earthquake here. 3.4 earthquake here. This is northwest of Sydney, Australia here. You see on the map. Northwest of Sydney, Australia right here. Still New South Wales, Australia. 3.4 earthquake here. Further over here to the northwest, a 3.2 earthquake here. Yes, we have people from Australia that also monitor our program. They do it all the time. Literally all the time. Just a few moments ago, I heard a fairly good-sized earthquake hit over here in New Zealand. I'm trying to find it for you here. Yes, down here in the south part of New Zealand. The South Island of New Zealand here. Right about there, Jamestown, New Zealand. Jamestown, New Zealand just had a 4.18 earthquake. 4.18, 4.2 earthquake here in Jamestown, New Zealand here, southwest New Zealand. 4.18 earthquake here. Of course, USGS doesn't even show them. Sometimes USGS will show 4.0 earthquakes, but lately they have not been doing it. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. They cause moderate damage. There are very few people who live here in southwestern Australia here. This basically is a very mountainous area. The seashore here is mostly cliffs. The seashore along the western side of New Zealand, southwestern side, the South Island here, are cliffs. Very treacherous cliffs. Very few people even live in this area here. But again, a 4.18 earthquake just hit a few minutes ago. Southwestern Australia, or New Zealand, southwestern New Zealand. Okay? As you can see, all kinds of earthquakes here in New Zealand. The South Island and the North Island going up into the Kermadec Islands here. Going up here, let me bring the map out here a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay? Yes, we have some minor and small earthquakes over here in this water area here. This water area here between both these islands is called the Cook Strait. The Cook Strait. Yes, we have some earthquakes here. They're minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.8. We have one 3.2 earthquake there. Over here on North Island here. Southwest of Rappahu Volcano, right here. Southwest of Rappahu Volcano here. We have a 2.35 earthquake here. 2.35 minor earthquake. Now, I want to go north here. Right here. The central part of the North Island here of New Zealand. It's called Raoul Island. Here in the center part of the island is Taupo Lake, or Taupo Volcano. Taupo Lake is a super volcano here in New Zealand, a super volcano. Usually we have some earthquakes get near the volcano, but here, just west of Taupo Volcano here, just west of Taupo Volcano here, we have a 3.39 earthquake. 3.39, 3.4 earthquake right there. Okay, small earthquake. Small earthquake. Northwest of there. Right here near the shore, not near the shoreline, but up here in the hilly area here is a 2.22 minor earthquake. 2.22 minor earthquake there. They have lots of 2s here, lots of minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 are minor earthquakes. North of Topo Lake here. North of Topo Lake right here. We have a 2.36 earthquake there, north of the supervolcano. North of the supervolcano. Then I'm going to take you out here into the Bay of Plenty here. The Bay of Plenty here. For kicks and giggles, guys, just for kicks and giggles here, I'm going to take you to White Island. White Island, we have a volcano here. A volcano here. The volcano here erupted about 2 years ago. 2 years ago. There was a cruise ship in this area that had dropped off passengers here at White Island. Then the volcano erupted. Then the volcano erupted. 2 people were killed. About 4 or 5 others were badly injured by that eruption of the volcano. Now, the cruise ship was not aware that that volcano was going to erupt. Naturally, they would not have gone there if it would have been the case. But they dropped off people here and went back to the cruise ship. Then they had to get the cruise ship to send that whaleboat back here to the island. And New Zealand also sent rescue helicopters to White Island to airlift people to hospitals here in New Zealand. Just north of White Island here, in the Bay of Plenty here, we have a 2.27 earthquake, 2.27 minor earthquake, north of White Island here. Just north of the Bay of Plenty here, north of the Bay of Plenty here. This is a 3.16 small earthquake, 3.16 small earthquake. Look at all these other earthquakes near the Kermadec Islands. The Kermadec Islands are uninhabited islands north of New Zealand. Uninhabited islands. The only thing that's on the Kermadec Islands are birds. The Kermadec Islands are a bird sanctuary. Bird sanctuary. Guess what? Earthquakes there. Here's a 3.0 earthquake right there. Going north up the Fiji Trench here is a 2.72 earthquake there. Minor earthquake. 2.72 minor earthquake. Going north up the Fiji Trench here, a 3.84 small earthquake. 3.84 small earthquake. One more earthquake here in the Kermadec area here. This is a 4.03 moderate earthquake. 4.03 moderate earthquake. Yes, guys, we have moderate earthquakes, we have small earthquakes, and most of the time we have large 5.0, 5.5, 5.9. And 4 years ago here, we had 7.4 earthquakes hitting here in the Kermadec Islands. Be aware of it, can happen again. Can happen again. Now, let's go north. Let's go north. North of the Kermadec Islands here, we have a 3.41 earthquake here. 3.41 earthquake here north of the Kermadec Islands. Still a small earthquake. Still a small earthquake. Now, to the east of those earthquakes in the Kermadec Islands here, here's a 3.37 earthquake here on the Tonga Trench. The Tonga Trench here. You see the Fiji Trench to the west? This is the Tongan Trench where we have a small earthquake here. Small 3.37 earthquake. Then we go over into Fiji. Fiji, guys. Let's back this map out into Fiji. Into Fiji here. USGS is showing 2 earthquakes here. This is a 4.8 earthquake in the Fiji region. 4.9 4.98 earthquake in the Fiji region. That might as well be a 5.0 earthquake. 4.98 might as well be a 5.0 earthquake, considering the USGS downgrades earthquakes to the nearest 0.9. The 0.9 society is alive and well here. 4.98 earthquake here. Guess what? This is a deep earthquake. 606 kilometers deep. 606 kilometers deep. That's a deep earthquake. That's a very deep earthquake. Now, given that information, I'm going to show you the depth to magnitude conversion chart here. The depth to magnitude conversion chart here. Okay? Rebecca Explorer and our other friend from England here put this conversion chart together for us for our use. Okay? Now, I'm going to pull this down so you can see what I'm saying here. We go over to the fourth column in the center of this depth of magnitude conversion chart. In order for us to see what this earthquake is going to be, deep earthquakes cause larger, shallow earthquakes. Deep earthquakes cause larger, shallow earthquakes. In this case, we're going to have to add a 1.21 to the magnitude of this quake. A 1.21 to the magnitude of this earthquake in northern Fiji. That way we're going to know exactly what's going to happen with this earthquake. This earthquake in Fiji. This is a big deal. This 4.98 earthquake is going to cause a 6.1 earthquake. 6.1, 6.2 earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. 606 kilometers deep. It's going to cause a 6.1, 6.2 very strong earthquake to happen here in this region or over towards Vanuatu, the Legacy Islands to the southwest here, Legacy Islands down to the southwest, Vanuatu here, the Solomon Islands are possibly over here into Papua New Guinea. 6.1, 6.2 earthquake is coming. Or that seismic energy might stay here in Fiji, or could also go up here in the Tonga region, northern Tonga and Samoa. Northern Tonga and Samoa, it's happened before. Now guys, something else has happened before as well. So seismic energy has also measled its way over here to South America. Southern Chile and Argentina area here. The energy from Fiji here has migrated itself over here into southern Chile or southern Argentina before. That could also happen here. Could also happen. We need to keep our minds open for what might happen here. That's what we're talking about this. That's exactly what we're talking about. While we're talking about that, there's one other earthquake here as well. Right there. Guess what we have? This is a 4.6 earthquake. 4.6 earthquake, 543 kilometers deep. This also is a deep earthquake, but not as deep as the other one. So this time, we're still going back to the depth to magnitude conversion chart to see what's going to happen with this earthquake. 549 kilometers deep. Go over to the third column here. Maybe over here to 550 here. 550 here. Actually, no, 545 here. we're going to add a 1.09 to the magnitude of this earthquake because it's going to birth or propagate a larger shallow earthquake. We're going to add a 1.09 to this earthquake here. So let's go back to the USGS map here. Right there. Okay. This 4.6 earthquake is going to propagate a 5.7 earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. It's going to propagate a 5.7 earthquake in the next 3 to 10 days. Okay. Again, that 5.7 could propagate over here to the Legacy Islands here, southwest of Fiji, could propagate over here in the Vanuatu region, over here to the Solomon Islands, or further west over here to Papua New Guinea. Or like I said, it could also go over here to New Zealand. That other earthquake as well could go also here in New Zealand, or even migrate itself over here to southern Chile and Argentina. It's happened before. It's happened in the last 7 years that I've been broadcasting this program. That's why I'm bringing it to you. That's why we're talking about it. Okay? It happens. It happens, guys. Now, give them that information. I want to take you to Hawaii now. Before we talk about the Pacific Northwest, I want to take you to Hawaii now. Right here. Hawaii has had some earthquakes, as you can see. I'm going to start down here in southwestern Hawaii, the Big Island. Offshore here, near the subsea earthquakes here. The subsea volcanoes, subsea volcanoes here. Near Nalahu volcano underneath the ocean here. Offshore from southwestern Hawaii. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake. 2.1 minor earthquake. Right here is a 2.1 also. Again, this is 15 kilometers east of Nalahu volcano. Going north here. This one is just offshore from Pahala, Hawaii. Just offshore from Pahala, Hawaii. This is a 2.0 here. This is a 1.9, 2.0 as well. Basically twin earthquakes. Twin earthquakes. Pahala, Hawaii is a town here, a city in southwestern Hawaii. One of our own EMA family members, John and Lori here, have their son and daughter-in-law here. They have their family here. Their daughter-in-law graduated from high school this year. I shouldn't say the daughter-in-law, their granddaughter graduated from high school here in Pahala, Hawaii this year. The grandson graduated from Pahala, Hawaii here last year. Now, give them that information. I want to show you something else here. Interesting to know. See where Ohio Street is here? There is Pahala High School. Pahala High School here. Okay? Yes, we have earthquakes around Pahala, Hawaii as well. Going north here, just offshore again. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake here. Why do you think we have earthquakes here offshore? The simple reason is this. These earthquakes offshore are a result of magma coming through the Pacific, underneath the Pacific Ocean here, from a very deep lava plume down here in the South Pacific. There's a very deep lava plume just southwest of South America here. Very deep lava plume here, coming from the center of the earth here, that is supplying magma to all the volcanoes around the world. To all the volcanoes around the world. As a result, that is why we are seeing earthquakes here offshore from Hawaii. The magma here is en route to the volcanoes here on the Big Island, in and around the Big Island here. Okay, that's why you have earthquakes here. Over the seashore here, this is another 2.0 earthquake. 13 kilometers, about 7 miles northeast of Pahala, Hawaii. Pahala, Hawaii is down here. This is about 7 miles northeast of Pahala, Hawaii, along the coastline of the Big Island. Going north here, brand new earthquake right here. Brand new earthquake right here, red. Red means it just happened. Just happened. This earthquake here is a 2.2 minor earthquake. Only a 2.2 minor earthquake here. For the east here, this also is 10 kilometers, 6 miles northeast of Pahala, Hawaii. It's a 1.8 tremor here. 1.8 tremor here. Just north of that new earthquake. This is a 2.7 here. 2.7 earthquake. Notice where this earthquake is. Or this rip zone here. Now, guys, there is a legend here that this rip zone could collapse off the Big Island. It's been talked about a lot. Ever since the Kilauea volcano unloaded its lava flow all over the Big Island here, all over northwestern Big Island. Let's back up about 2019 as well. Summer 2019, there was lava here at Kilauea. Down beneath the lava, the caldera here at Kilauea, there was magma down beneath the caldera. That magma drained out of Kilauea volcano. The Kilauea wasn't the only volcano that were drained out. Further here to the southeast here, Pu'u'o volcano also drained out. Several days went by. Scientists wondered where the magma went. Several days went by, and suddenly we had all kinds of fissures breaking out over here on the southeast side of the Big Island. Lava started flowing over the landscape here. Lava started flowing all over the landscape here. Yes, guys, there are magma channels here all over the Big Island supplying magma to the volcanoes here on the Big Island. As a result of Kilauea, we know full well what's going on at Kilauea. Kilauea started erupting this past weekend again. It stopped sometime last week. I don't remember when it stopped, but it started erupting again this past weekend. I guess it was eruption number 50 of this year. Kilauea eruption number 50 this year. Now, guys, here at Kilauea, we have a 1.8 tremor here. South of Kilauea here, we have another 1.8 tremor here. But again, down here, this rift zone here. Again, there's talk of this rift zone breaking off from the Big Island, dropping into the ocean. If that happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it happened, they say that this rift zone, this chunk of land dropping off the Big Island, could cause a great big huge tidal wave to go over the mainland United States and swamp the west coast of the United States. You go all the way across all the way across the Pacific Basin here to Mexico and the west coast of North America, west coast of the United States, California, possibly Oregon and Washington. Yes, that's a possibility, could. But that is only rumor right now. It's only rumor. It's hypothesized. But scientists even said if it happened, there would be real issues in the Pacific Ocean here. I'm only saying it because it has been said before. It's been said before. Going over here, just south of Kilauea here. South of Kilauea here. This also is a 1.8 tremor here. There is magma down here, guys. Magma, this here area here, north of Paula here, where you see this lava flow here. All this brownish gray area is a lava flow, a lava field. This is where magma comes to the Big Island here, and is also distributed to all the volcanoes around the island. Paula here is basically a gas station distributing magma to all the volcanoes around the island. Down here, we know there is magma down here beneath the surface because we found out that there are magma channels here going over here to Fern Forest here, where we have an earthquake here. This is a 2.2 minor earthquake here. Just southwest here, southeast here is a 2.2 earthquake here, also in Fern Forest. Fern Forest, we had many fissures that opened up here after Kilauea and Pu'u volcanoes drained out. Fern Forest had many fissures here. Going up here into Leilani Estates here. Leilani Estates had many fissures here. Leilani Estates has many very expensive homes here. Many very expensive homes here. The grayish areas here are where lava flows broke out after those fissures opened up. These white clouds here that you see here on the Big Island are lava plumes. Lava plumes. Lava plumes develop when the fissures open up. The lava plumes are actually toxic gases coming from the lava. Carbon dioxide and carbon sulfide. Carbon sulfide. Sulfur dioxide, guys. These are toxic gases. People had to be evacuated from their homes here. Not just because of lava breaking out, because of the toxic gases as well. Some very expensive homes were burned to the ground here, consumed by the lava flows from the fissures that open up here in Leilani Estates. Some 1,500 families had to be evacuated. Some 1,500 families had to be evacuated from this region. This picture, this slide from USGS is very old. Very old. From 2019. 7 years ago. Almost 7 years to the month. Guys, there still are magma channels down here beneath the crust here, the crust of the earth that we walk on. There are still magma channels down beneath the surface that everybody walks on. Yes, there is a possibility at some point in time that more fissures might break open here. There is that position. We have seen minor earthquakes here in Leilani Estates before. Even this year. It could happen again. Now let me tell you a little bit of history here. After these fissures closed up, some of these fissures developed craters on them. Developed volcanic craters. Some of these fissures developed cones, volcanic cones here in this area. The Hawaiian people named these volcanoes. They named many of these cones and craters volcanic names. They stand here as memorials to what happened here the summer of 2019. 2019 here, guys. Yes, that's what happened. Today also here, southwest of Kilauea, we have another volcano here, Mauna Loa here. Over here on the eastern flank of Mauna Loa, we have an earthquake right here. This is a 1.8 tremor here, Mauna Loa volcano. The western hillside of Mauna Loa volcano. 1.8 tremor here. We go over here to the northwest side of Mauna Loa here. This is a 2.2 earthquake here in the foothills of Mauna Loa volcano. 2.2 earthquake here in the foothills of Mauna Loa volcano. What I want to tell you is this. Whether it's Kilauea, Mauna Loa, or further north over here into Mauna Kea. Excuse me. USGS is not showing us even 1/3 of the earthquakes hitting here. They're not showing us even 1/3 of the earthquakes that are hitting here. If I was to pull up the seismographs from this area here, Kilauea area here, Mauna Loa, Mauna Kea here, you see a lot of earthquakes. Most of those earthquakes would be tremors and minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. Yes, they have earthquakes here. Over here in the foothills of Mauna Loa here to the west is a 2.2 minor earthquake. Up here at Mauna Kea, on the northwestern flank of Mauna Kea. This is the 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 earthquake here. Almost directly west from there is a 2.4 earthquake here. 2.4 minor earthquake here. Just happens to be another volcano here. Holly, this is, oh gosh, what's it called? Well, not Waialaw. Oh gosh, this is weird, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I usually have this on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what that volcano is right now. Let me see if I have another way to tell what that volcano is. I guess they've taken it down. I brought up another USGS map on my software here, my computer. It usually shows me the other volcanoes here on the Big Island. But up here where this, you see this volcano here, is another volcano. It starts with an H. Waialoa or something like that. Waialoa volcano. We have a minor earthquake here. A minor earthquake here. Okay? It happens. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. This is a 2.4 minor earthquake here. It's interesting, just a few minutes ago, we had 24 people watch this program. Now it's dropped off to half of that. 14 people watch this program. That's sad. Just because they didn't get the way, they didn't get to see the earthquakes in the Pacific Northwest right away. But I'm going to show those just in just a split second here. Give me a second. Going over here into the EDAC area here of the Alaska Peninsula here. I shouldn't say the Alaska Peninsula. This is also the Aleutian Islands. EDAC area here in the Aleutian Islands. This earthquake here is a 5.0 large earthquake. 211 kilometers southwest of EDAC, Alaska. Why? Why we're seeing large earthquakes here? Simple reason is this. We've had large earthquakes down here in Japan. Southeast of Japan here In the Izu Islands here, we have a 5.3 large earthquake here. Large earthquakes have come up here into Japan. They've gone north through the Kuril Island just south of the Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. We've had large earthquakes over here alongside the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia. That seismic energy has moved over here into the Aleutian Island area here. That's why we have a large 5.0 earthquake here near Adak, Alaska. 5.0 earthquake here in the Aleutian Islands here of Alaska. Okay? Now we also have earthquakes here in Alaska. Granted, we always have about 60 earthquakes here in Alaska. That's normal. All these earthquakes are normal here. However, we do have some brand new earthquakes here. Kodiak Island here. Southern Kodiak Island, we have a 2.4 minor earthquake here. 2.4 minor earthquake here. Off the shoreline of the Alaska Peninsula here. This is the 3.4 earthquake near Ugashik, Alaska. Ugashik, Alaska. Okay? Let's go north here. North here of Denali National Park here. Another new earthquake here right there. This is the 2.0 minor earthquake here. 2.0 minor earthquake north of Denali, Alaska here. One other earthquake I want to talk about here is over in the thumb of Alaska here. Thumb of Alaska right here. Right there. This is the 2.2 minor earthquake here. 49 kilometers north-northeast of White Mountain, Alaska. White Mountain, Alaska. Now, for those of you that are younger, you may not know what I'm going to tell you now. When I was a boy, I read exploits of explorers here in Alaska. Exploring Alaska. On dog sleds. On dog sleds, guys. Why am I talking about that? Because up here near the Bering Land Bridge here at the National Preserve here in Alaska, I read stories of explorers going through dog sleds, going on dog sleds through this Bering Land Bridge here, this preserve here in Alaska, all throughout this region here, even over here to Nome, Alaska here. Nome, Alaska is right there. I read stories of explorers here in Nome, Alaska, all throughout Alaska as well, even upwards of Fairbanks. No, we don't usually get earthquakes here. We only get these maybe 3 or 4 times a year. But this is a 2.7 earthquake here near White Mountain, Alaska. White Mountain, Alaska. Now, earthquakes come from, excuse me, they come from down here in the South Pacific here, in Indonesia, and the South Islands of the Pacific here. They come up here through what? How? Edge of the plates here, earthquake faults. Seismic energy runs around the side of earthquake faults, edge of the faults. Seismic energy comes up from Indonesia, up here through the Philippines, into Japan. From Japan here into Russia here, over here through the Aleutian Islands. Then it ends up going up here towards Anchorage. And continue up through the Aleutian Islands over here into the Gulf of Alaska. Some of that energy continue over here through the Gulf, comes over here to British Columbia, Canada. British Columbia, Canada. Happens all the time. All the time. Energy can come from the Gulf of Alaska down here to Haida Gwaii Island here. Haida Gwaii Island here. Okay? Can also go north here from way down here in the Cascadia southern region, the southern Cascadia region. Seismic energy can go north as well, all the way up the Cascadia subduction zone, past Vancouver Island here, Haida Gwaii, and also go up here into southeastern Alaska here, and go further up here into the Gulf of Alaska here, into mainland Alaska here. Happens. It happens. But guys, what I'm going to talk to you now, this energy here, I'm going to talk to you now about Washington, Oregon here. USGS is not showing any earthquakes at all. That's sad. That means USGS is lying about Washington and Oregon. Why is that? I'm going to show you plenty of earthquakes here in Washington, Oregon, and also the volcanoes as well. The volcanoes are also moving. Magma is coming off the Pacific Plate over here in Washington, Oregon, flowing over here into the volcanoes, supplying the volcanoes with magma. Happening. I can prove it. USGS show no earthquakes here is a fallacy. It's a lie. It's an out-and-out, bald-faced lie. Why am I emphasizing that? I have good reason. I used to work as a police officer for the federal government. If I filed a false police report, or I caught anybody filing a false police report, they would have fired my butt and I would have gone to jail. Just like filing a false police report. When USGS people don't show earthquakes here, they tend to put people's lives in danger. They put people's lives in danger. When they don't show anything that's going on here, everybody feels safe. They feel safe and tranquil. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's happening right now. It's not going to happen to me. Guess what? There are earthquakes here in Washington and Oregon. In Washington and Oregon. Not to be outdone. Before I show you earthquakes in Washington and Oregon, guess what I'm going to do? I want to go over here into Canada, northwestern Canada right there. A 4.4 earthquake hit here in northwestern Canada right here. 4.4 earthquake here today. USGS is also not showing other actually 5 earthquakes that were here as well. 5 other earthquakes here as well. 2.0, 2.1 earthquakes are hitting this area as well. Aftershocks from this 4.4 earthquake. Aftershocks from this 4.4 earthquake here in northeastern Canada. Yeah, it's a fact. It's a blooming fact. Usually USGS does not show it. Right when I was compiling this information, USGS didn't show it. I was prepared to show you a map of northeastern Canada to show you these earthquakes, to show you what is going on here. Because the agency's not going to show them to you. The agency's not going to show them to you. And I believe we have a right to show this to you. This is New Brunswick, Canada. New Brunswick, Canada here. Now, look at these other earthquakes here. Right where this 4.4 earthquake hit, where you see this red dot, there's other smaller dots here to the south and also to the northeast. These red dots signify 2.0, 2.1 earthquakes that hit here. Fact. The yellow earthquakes to the south and to the north are other earthquakes that happened here in the last week. 2.0 earthquakes, 1.5, 1.9 tremors as well. All throughout this region. All throughout this region, guys. USGS does not normally show anything going on here. Today they did. Okay? That's a fact. That's what happened here. But again, USGS is not showing us anything here in Oregon or Washington. The only earthquakes we have down here to the south are over here near the Cascade Subduction Zone and the Mendocino Fault. Not the Cascade Subduction Zone, I'm sorry, the San Andreas Fault here. The Cascade Subduction Zone comes out of the north here, comes down here to the southern region of the Cascade region, comes here and meets up with the Gorda Escarpment. The Gorda Escarpment runs north away or west away from the California coast and meets up with also the San Andreas Fault here. Here in this region, we have one earthquake here, 1.7 tremor. This earthquake is a 1.3 tremor here. Out here on the Mendocino Fault. Mendocino Fault, Rio Dell, California. 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 earthquake here. 22 kilometers southeast of Rio Dell, California, on the Mendocino Fault. The Mendocino Fault runs from this triple junction here and runs east over here into California, over here in Northern California. Remember the Mendocino Fault. All this is part of the Southern Cascade Subduction Zone region. Remember that. These earthquakes here are in the Southern Cascade Subduction Zone region, down here. But again, they're not showing us any earthquakes here in Washington or Oregon at all. None. What I'm about to show you are earthquakes in this region. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in this region, guys. Let's take down the USGS map for the time being. I'm first going to show you earthquakes here in Washington and Oregon. Earthquakes here in Washington and Oregon. For example, this seismogram, when I talk about a seismogram, the seismogram is a computer readout from the seismograph itself. The seismograph is a computer that measures the magnitude of earthquakes in this area. This particular area, this is Everett, Washington. Everett, Washington. Let's show you what happened here in Everett, Washington today. Okay? It's important. Look at the energy here. This seismogram starts reporting energy after 8 p.m. last night. The thicker lines here is magma headed to the volcanoes, headed east to the volcanoes here. Magma headed off the Pacific plate over to the volcanoes here. The thicker the lines, the more magma here. That's what you're seeing here. Whether it's red, black, or blue here, the thicker the lines are showing you more magma headed to the volcanoes here. The thinner the lines, less magma headed over the volcanoes here. With that said, when you see little vertical lines here, those are tremors and or earthquakes. Those are tremors and or earthquakes caused by magma here, caused by magma in this case, causing rock fraction in these magma channels here. Yes, there are magma channels here under the crust we walk on. We're seeing earthquakes here. We're seeing tremors, minor earthquakes here all the time. All the time. Now, after 2200 here, see that 2200 on the left-hand side? That's 10 p.m. This red line here is 10:15 on the left-hand side. So over here we see our first minor earthquake. 1.99, 2.0 earthquake. 1.99 tremor, 2.0 earthquake here. This is about 10:08, 10:10 p.m. here last night. 10:10 p.m. last night. Okay. Further over here to the left, to the right here, about 3 minutes later, 2.3, 2.4 earthquake here. 2.3, 2.4 earthquake here. Let's scroll down here. On these red and black lines here, you're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Let's scroll down here to late this morning, early afternoon here. Down here after 9:15 a.m. on the red line here. About 9:01, or I'm sorry, not 9:01, 9:16, 9:17 this morning. Tremor activity. Tiny vertical lines here are tremor activity. Again, rock fracturing inside the magma channel here. Rock fracturing down inside the magma channel, causing earthquake here. Causing an earthquake. Right below that, on the black line, this time after 10:02 a.m. this morning. This is a 2.0, 2.2 earthquake. 2.0, 2.2 earthquake here. Everett, Washington. Now, remember that minor earthquakes cannot be felt by normal human beings. Animals might be able to sense it. Very sensitive human beings might be able to sense it, but that's all. For the most part, minor earthquakes cannot be felt or sensed, except by very sensitive animals or people. Okay? Let's continue to scroll down here. Down here after 13:15, on 13:15, this red line here is 1:15 this afternoon. About 1:01 p.m. this afternoon, we have a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here. Now the rest of the time, all you see are tiny tremors here going across to the right. Tiny tremors going across to the right here. This is Everett, Washington. Everett, Washington, guys. This is here. But USGS did not tell us that, did they? They didn't show any earthquakes here in Washington at all. Guess what? I'm going to show you those too. Up going to the north, Falls City, Washington. Look what's happening here in Falls City, Washington. Up at the top here is 8 p.m. last night, 8:15 p.m. last night. You're seeing harmonic tremors here. Harmonic tremors here. These are big tremors here. But they're causing the ground to vibrate. They're called harmonic tremors here. Harmonic tremors. Then, what happens when the seismologists, the scientists go home? What happens when the seismologists go home? All of a sudden, they turn down the seismographs. All of a sudden, they turn down the seismographs. All of a sudden, we're no longer seeing these harmonic tremors. We barely be just seeing blips on the monitor. Tiny blips on the monitor. That means there was energy still there, but that energy did not come through the electronic turndown of the seismograph. There's energy here still, but it did not overcome the electronic turndown of the seismograph. Then this morning, after these jokers come back to work, look what we see here. Harmonic tremors are back, guys. Harmonic tremors are back. Now, some of these tremors are bigger, and some of them are smaller than the others. That's what we're also seeing here. Smaller tremors, larger tremors here. All throughout the morning and all through last night. Down here this afternoon, look what we have here. Okay? This is 2:15 this afternoon over here on the left-hand side. Left-hand bottom side. 2:15 this afternoon. Yes, we have magma going into the boat, running through here, running underneath the crust of the earth, underneath Everett, Washington, head to the volcanoes. But in this case, we're seeing some 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here this afternoon. You can see it here, guys. Then all of a sudden, the magma goes down here, and then it levels off with very little magma going through the magma chamber. Yeah, that's what's happening. Again, this is Falls City, Washington. Falls City, Washington. Sad. Sad we had to blow the whistle on the agencies. But the Pacific Seismic Network is not always honest either. Sometimes they hide information. Sometimes they just delete it. Sometimes they just delete it. Ferndale, Washington, look at this. Again, last night while the seismologists were still in station here. Look at the earthquakes here. Yes, we're having tremors here. The top line here is 8 p.m., 8:15 on the red line. The black line here is 8 p.m. Below that, 9 p.m. on the black line, 10 p.m. below that. Look what we're seeing here. Yes, we are seeing tremors here. Then we're seeing 2.0 earthquakes, 2.4, 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes here as well. These earthquakes get larger here, don't they? These earthquakes are minor earthquakes, ranging in size from 2.4 to 2.7 earthquakes here. And then after the seismologists go home, they turn down the seismographs as well. And all we see is energy trying to get through the electronic turndown of the machines. They turn it back up when they come back to work. They turn it back up when they come back to work. Look what happens. Later this morning, we see these minor earthquakes reappear, don't we? Prior to that, we always see are tiny tremors, very tiny tremors. Guys, these tiny tremors are not normal. They're not normal. When there is lava flowing or magma flowing beneath the surface, you can be guaranteed that this magma is causing earthquakes, not just tiny tremors, but minor earthquakes. Yeah. If you're already seeing minor earthquakes before or after the turndown, what you're seeing here is also happening. But again, the energy was not powerful enough to make it through the electronic turndown. But again, this afternoon, you're seeing 1.9, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. Here today, Ferndale, Washington. Ferndale, Washington. Guess what? Let's go into the north part of the Puget Sound region. Let's go over to Grays Harbor, Washington. Grays Harbor, Washington here. Last night, again, we're seeing a large amount of magma here, probably headed for Glacier Peak. Headed for Glacier Peak here. Yes, we're seeing some element of harmonic tremors here. The magma is making the tremors here sound harmonic, vibrate the earth here. We are seeing some small, tiny tremors here. But occasionally we see larger tremors as well. Then the scientists go home at night. And all that we see are these harmonic tremors here. Then when the seismologists come back to work, suddenly we start seeing mainline earthquakes again. Mainline earthquakes again. That's what happened when they come back to work. They turn down the machines when they leave. They turn them back up when they come back. Heaven forbid they have to explain any large earthquakes happened while they were gone. Yeah. Heaven forbid they have to explain any large earthquakes here that happened while they were gone. It's happened. It's happened. Also here in the Puget Sound is Loomy Island. Loomy Island here. Yes, here we're seeing tiny tremors here, mostly harmonic, but guys, early this morning here, on the black line here. Actually, this is after this last night. Last night, we were seeing some tremors, and we were also seeing some minor earthquake, 2.0, 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes. Then this afternoon here, right down here this afternoon, we're still seeing tremors here. We are still seeing tremors here. Loomy Island, Washington. Loomy Island, Washington. Last night and early this morning, 1, 2 o'clock this morning, we had some tremor activity. That's it. That's all that happened. Loomy Island. There. Let's go south to Ocean Shores, Washington. Along the beach area of Washington, Ocean Shores, Washington here. Guess what? Ocean Shores, Washington here. Last night, 8:15 on this red line here. Just tremors. Magma's running through here, probably headed over here to Glacier Peak or Mount Rainier. But magma is running through here, and the magma channels here near the shoreline. We are seeing some tremors here. Tremors. All kinds of tremor activity here. Later this morning and early afternoon, all of a sudden we have tremors. And yes, we have some minor earthquakes as well. Minor earthquakes as well. Let's go here and show you what we have here. Show what we have. This black line here at the bottom is 11 a.m. this morning. At 11 a.m., we have a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. Then just about 11:02, we have a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, minor earthquake. Minor earthquake here. Minor earthquakes do happen. But here you've seen also some minor earthquakes and tremors here. You've seen other minor earthquakes and tremors as well. Okay? Ocean Shores, Washington along the shoreline. Happening. Happening, guys. Now let's go over to Orcas Island. Again, up into the Puget Sound region to the north. Orcas Island. Look what we're seeing here today. Literally only tremors here last night, this morning, early morning. Tremors here last night, early morning here. Going into late morning, early afternoon, look what happened here. A lot more information here, right? A lot more earthquake information here. Now here you start seeing tremor activity here. You start seeing tremor activity here about just before 11 a.m. On this red line here, this is 11:15. 1.3, 1.4 tremor here. Then over the right, we have a 2.0 earthquake. Further over here to the right, about 11:07, 11:08, that's a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. On the black line here, we're seeing larger tremors. 1.6, 1.7 tremors here. Then look what happens here. 10, 11 o'clock last night. Earlier this morning. Minor earthquakes again. More and more minor earthquakes. Guys, this is not normal here. Usually we don't see this stuff because the seismologists go home here. In this case, they must let the seismograph roll here because here we are seeing good size minor earthquakes. Very good size minor earthquakes. Okay. Here, 11, I want to say this is 11:23 a.m. here on the red line. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. On the red line to the left here, on that same red line, 2.0, 2.2 earthquake. The next red line, that is 11:05, 11:06 this morning. Actually, no, it's on the red line, which would be 11:21 this morning. This would be a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. Okay. Then more earthquakes this afternoon. Again, on this earthquake fault, on this earthquake line here, the red line over here on the far right-hand side, 2.4, 2.5 earthquake there. That's after I want to say 120, 127 this afternoon. 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. Over here on the next red line here to the bottom. Okay. This in this case is 3:15 this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 minor earthquake. And yes, we're seeing tremors besides that. Okay. Orcas Island, northern Puget Sound. Okay. Yes, there are earthquakes here. Excuse me. There are earthquakes all over this region. USGS doesn't want to admit to it. Heaven forbid they show us earthquakes here. Heaven forbid they show us earthquakes, guys. Sad but true. Sad but true. Now, I'm going to move this down here to show you more earthquakes that happened this morning. Now I'm going over to Radar Ridge, Nassau, Washington, closer to the Washington coastline. Nassau, Washington. Look what we're seeing here. Yes, there is some harmonic tremors here causing the ground to vibrate, lightly vibrate. We're also seeing regular tremors here as well. 1.4, 1.5 tremors here. All throughout this morning, all throughout the night. Then we come over here through this morning and through this afternoon. Harmonic tremors here. But look at the last two black lines here. This is just a little bit different. Now we have individual tremors here. We're seeing individual tremors here. Not just organized as a mass of tremors here. Yes, we're seeing 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 tremors here. Yeah. I wanted to show you this and explain it to you. That's what's happening here. Radar Ridge or Nassau, Washington. Let's go over to Salem, Oregon. Salem, Oregon here, guys. Look at this last night. All kinds of tremors last night. On the black line, top on the right-hand side, we have a 2.0, 2.2 earthquake. And most of the rest of this is all tremor activity here. Tremor activity here, guys. Again, this is Salem, Oregon. Salem, Oregon. Look what happens late this morning, early afternoon. Now we are seeing these tremors up in real light. We're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes in real light here. Again, the seismologists come back to work. They turn the sensitivity back up here on the seismograph, which is now allowing us to see more tremor activity and more minor earthquakes. That's what we're seeing here. More tremor activity, more minor earthquakes as well. On the red line here after 9 a.m. On the red line here after 9 a.m. 1.8, 1.9 tremor here. 1.8, 1.9 tremor here. We go all throughout this morning into afternoon. Then we come over here to the center right here on the bottom red line. That bottom red line is a 2.4 earthquake here. 2.4 earthquake here this afternoon after 3:23 a.m. or p.m. this afternoon. 3:23 p.m. this afternoon. 2.4 earthquake. Okay. That's Salem, Washington. Or I'm sorry, Shelton, Washington. Shelton, Washington, guys. Let's go to Vancouver, Washington. The southwestern side of Washington is called Vancouver, Washington. Vancouver, Washington. Last night, 8:15 p.m. Yes, we do have some harmonic tremors here, but it's mostly minor tremors going through here. Minor tremors being emphasized here. All over here. 1.4, 1.5, 1.3 tremors here. That's this morning. Late last night and early this morning. Then late morning, early afternoon here. Look what we're seeing. Yes, we have harmonic tremors going on, but we're also seeing some tremors here. Regular tremors here. Now, I don't think we see any full-blown earthquakes, but these are harmonic tremors, and some of these harmonic tremors are also causing us to see real harmonic tremors individually here. Real harmonic tremors here, individually here. Yes, the lava here is making sure we see this. It's bubbling up so we can see this. Okay, let's continue here. One more here of the cities here. Actually, that's all. Let's go take a look at the volcanoes now. Let's take a look at the volcanoes now. Volcanoes, guys. Volcanoes, guys. They're going. They're moving. They are moving. Now, I'm going to enlarge this just a little bit here because I want you to see what I'm seeing. Yes, we have some harmonic terms going here. This is Mount Baker. Mount Baker, the volcano, just to the south side of the Canadian border. Mount Baker here. Yes, we're seeing some harmonic terms, but we're also seeing the validity of minor tremors here as well. Individual tremors here. Individual tremors here. Here this afternoon, you see the validity of these individual tremors coming to life here. Now you're seeing these larger tremors here. 1.8, 1.9 tremors happening here. Now, I think we may have had one minor earthquake here as well. One minor earthquake here as well. This earthquake hit about 3 a.m. this morning. 3 a.m. this morning, 2.0 earthquake. 3 a.m. this morning. All the rest of this is all tremor activity. Okay? Let's keep going. Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is Schuxen. Mount Baker Schuxen. The reason I want to show you Schuxen, number one, this is the north side of Mount Baker. We get a little bit different look at what's going on here at Mount Baker, the volcano. Okay? In this case, look at this. Yes, we're seeing individual earthquakes here, individual tremors. Individual tremors here. All throughout the night. Then, early this morning, way early this morning, okay, about 2:20 a.m. this morning on the red line, 2.1 earthquake, 2.1 earthquake here. You're not going to see this on the rest of the seismograph. Because all we have here this afternoon, early this morning, were harmonic tremors again. However, I want to show you a different channel here at the Schuxen seismograph. The HHN channel here at Schuxen seismograph. This is called the VLF wave channel. The VLF wave channel. There's a reason. There's a reason. Look at this. The wavy lines you see here are VLF waves, very low frequency radio waves, caused by magma again. Caused by magma coming into the volcanic chamber here at Mount Baker. At Mount Baker. Now, you see these very active wavy lines here? That would mean we should have seen some good-sized earthquakes. We should have seen some good-sized earthquakes here. But again, we did not. We did not see these here. Why? because the agency is deleting the earthquakes. They're deleting these earthquakes. This size magma flow into the volcano here would have caused us earthquakes here. Fact. But they're not showing it here. Not showing it. This amount of wavy lines here, this amount of BLF waves here could have or should have caused some large earthquakes. It did not. Then we go over here late morning, we see it again. Early morning here, we don't see much of it. Later this morning, early afternoon, we see more wavy lines here. Guys, this is what happens when magma comes to the volcanic chamber. Wavy and wavy lines here. The larger wavy lines here mean we're supposed to be seeing large earthquakes, but we're not. The agency is hiding the data. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network and USGS is hiding the data. Heaven forbid we see it. Not seen on the map at all. Not seen on the map at all. They're hiding data. They're hiding data for a reason. Now, I want to go down to Glacier Peak next. Glacier Peak, look what's going on here. This also is the HHN channel here at Glacier Peak, the VLF wave channel. Yes, we're seeing some earthquakes here. But in this case, the seismograph is also showing us some earthquakes here as well. These are very light VLF waves. As a result, we are seeing some minor tremors here and minor earthquakes. Nothing big at all. Nothing big at all. We're seeing some tremors. We're seeing some 2.0, 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes, and some wavy lines here. Late morning, early afternoon, look what happens. Almost nothing. Almost nothing. It's like the seismologist went back home this afternoon. It's like they just went back home this afternoon. Craziness, guys. Literally craziness. Going home at 3 p.m. this afternoon. I wish we could do that when I was working. Craziness, guys. Now, let's go over to Mount Rainier. Good old Mount Rainier. I want to go over to Camp Sherman. Rainier, Camp Sherman here. Mount Rainier and Camp Sherman here. Last night here, you've seen some minor tremors here. But in this particular case, guys, over here on the right here, about 9:29 last night, 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here. And a lot of tremors. In this particular situation, you also see some very light VLF waves here. Some very light VLF waves. Yes, magma was coming into the magma chamber here. Okay? Magma usually shows us earthquakes here. But here, we're only seeing one minor earthquake. One 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Camp Sherman. Guys, it's not the only earthquake here. Mount Rainier is active. Mount Rainier is very active. Let's go over and show you Camp Muir on the north side of Mount Rainier. Camp Muir here. Very little, if anything, happened here during the nighttime. On the bottom blue line here, the bottom blue line here, let me enlarge this so you can see what I'm talking about here. This would be about 2:30 this morning. About 2:33 this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. This morning here at Mount Rainier, Camp Muir. Again, the north side of Camp Muir, of Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is alive and well. Mount Rainier is alive and well. Let's show you this afternoon. Nothing much happened here at Camp Muir this afternoon. All we see is basically one tremor. One tremor. It's as if the USGS never came back to work. It's as if the scientists or seismologists did not come back to work at all. Now, they're not showing us the data. They're not showing us the data, guys. They're either hiding it or they are deleting it. There's no two other things allowed. They should be tried for obscuring information. They should be tried for lying to the public. Lying to the public. That's exactly what they're doing. Lying to the public here. Nothing else going on here. Camp Muir. However, there's more going on here than that. Let's go over to Mount Rainier Emerald Ridge. This time is over on the southwest side of Mount Rainier. Southwest side of Mount Rainier. Look what we see here, guys. Look what we see here. This is the RER channel, Rainier Emerald Ridge, and yet we're seeing these VOF waves. This is the BHN channel here at Mount Rainier. VOF waves here cause earthquakes. These kind of VOF waves are very busy waves. They cause earthquakes. Okay? Down here early morning. Early this morning, we see 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes. We may be even seeing a 2.9 earthquake here. We may have seen a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here early this morning. Okay? That was just after 6 a.m. this morning. After 6 a.m. this morning. And then this afternoon, you see some more VOF waves here. Interesting. Interesting. Let me show you another channel here at Mount Rainier. Okay? This is called the HHG channel here. The HHG channel here. Still at Emerald Ridge, but a different channel here. Nothing here at all last night. Tiny tremors here this last night. Then early this morning, all of a sudden they become larger tremors here. Larger tremors on this blue line here. This blue line is 5:30 this morning. We don't see the top part of it, but it is at least 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes, minor earthquakes. After that, all we see are tiny tremors again. Mount Rainier, Emerald Ridge. Interesting, but no cigar. I want to go over now to Mount St. Helens. I want to show you what is going on at Mount St. Helens. This time I'm going over here to East Dome Mount St. Helens. The seismograph that is sitting on top of Mount St. Helens, on the western side of Mount St. Helens. In this particular case last night, we'll always see were tremors, tiny tremors here. A little bit of VLF wave activity here. Look what happens here late morning. Look what happens here late morning, guys. Things tend to get busy, don't they? After 10:15 on the red line near the center. This is a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Mount St. Helens East Dome. Near the summit of the volcano, guys. Near the summit of the volcano. 2.7, 2.8 minor earthquake. Mount St. Helens. All they ever show us on the USGS map is microquakes. That's all. They never show us regular earthquakes at all. They show us microquakes and maybe some tremors occasionally. You see a large earthquake, a moderate earthquake. Or I'm sorry, not moderate, but minor earthquake. Minor 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Then on the next blue line here, after 12:30, 12:32 this afternoon, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake here. Over on the right on the black line, same black line. Over here we have a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake as well. And then tremors after that. Okay? Mount St. Helens is having earthquakes, aren't they? They never show it to us, do they? They don't show it at Mount St. Helens or Mount Rainier. All they show us is microquakes all the time. Yes, microquakes do happen. But these smaller, larger earthquakes happen. They do happen, guys. USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network can lie to us. They can lie to us as they normally do. Let's go over to September lobe. This is the BHZ channel. This is the main channel for September lobe here. September lobe. Yes, we're seeing some tremors here. Lots of tremors here. Last night, after 2300 hours, 2300 on the left-hand side would be 11 p.m. on the black line. This line is on the red line here. This is a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here. Okay? Just about 11, I want to say 11:24 p.m. last night. Minor earthquake there. Tremor after that. Then suddenly the seismologists find themselves coming back to work, don't they? Then we have some tremors and we have some minor earthquakes here as well, don't we? We have some tremors and minor earthquakes here as well. Okay? Let's take this another step further. Again, still at September lobe, which is another seismograph on Mount St. Helens. But in this case, let us see the magma coming into Mount St. Helens. This is the BDF-CC01 channel. The BDF-CC01 channel here at Mount St. Helens. Look at this, guys. You see very few wavy lines here. What I believe they've done, they've erased the wavy lines here. Usually what we've seen here at all the volcanoes around the world, all the volcanoes here in the Pacific Northwest, when we show the BLF wave channel, we see a lot of BLF waves here. Lots of violet BLF waves here. We're not seeing that. We're not seeing that at all. We're seeing very low frequency waves here with very few of them. Yes, these would cause tremors and very slight minor earthquakes. That's all. That's all. That's last night, early this morning. Then we come back here this afternoon, late morning, early afternoon, we see nothing. Basically nothing. They have erased the BDF waves here. They've erased the VLF, very low frequency waves here from Mount St. Helens. Guys, I can guarantee you that Mount St. Helens is having earthquakes. Mount St. Helens is having earthquakes. But USGS is not going to show them to us. They're not going to show them to us. This is the BHZ channel, showing you earthquakes here at Mount St. Helens. September lobe, Mount St. Helens. Again, last night. Yes, we do see some tremors here. But last night, after 2,300 hours, 11 p.m., on the red line here is 11:15. Going over here to the center, this is about 11:23 p.m. last night. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. That would have been caused by good-sized VLF waves. Good-sized VLF waves. We didn't see that, did we? Again, they erased the VLF waves from the seismic data here. But we are still seeing minor earthquakes here. We're still seeing minor earthquakes. We may not be seeing all of them, but we're seeing some of them. This afternoon, all we're seeing here are some minor tremors here. Minor tremors here this afternoon at Mount St. Helens. Again, I believe they are deleting the information. They're hiding the information, guys. Let's go south of Mount Hood. Mount Hood. Here's the VLF wave channel at Mount Hood. Hood Meadows. Just south of the mountain itself. These are very heavy VLF waves here. These are very heavy VLF waves here this afternoon at Mount Hood. Look what happened here last night. Some of these VLF waves are very heavy VLF waves here. They would have caused earthquakes here at Mount Hood. They would have caused earthquakes here at Mount Hood. All night and all morning long. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about here, guys. They are not being truthful to us at all. Not at all. This is the normal seismogram here at Mount Hood, at Hood Meadows. Yes, here we are seeing some minor earthquakes here. Last night, after 11 p.m. on the black line, we're seeing some 2.0, we're seeing some 2.5 earthquakes here last night. But again, they did not show this seismic waves here. They did not show us the VLF waves here at Mount Hood last night. But we are seeing some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here last night. And then we're seeing what? Harmonic tremors here. Harmonic tremors. Then this afternoon, 12:30 this afternoon, we are seeing some more tremors here. We are seeing some low degree tremors here. And we're seeing these thicker VLF waves here. Or not VLF waves, I'm sorry, harmonic tremors here. We're seeing these thicker harmonic tremors here. These harmonic tremors are causing the volcano to vibrate. Causing the volcano to vibrate here. Harmonic tremors here. Okay? Now I want to go over to the base, the southern base of Mount Hood to Timberline. Timberline here. Look what we see here this afternoon. Late morning this afternoon. 7 a.m. this morning on this black line. Tremors, minor earthquakes. Tremors, minor earthquakes. 2.0 minor earthquakes here. 8 a.m. the same thing. 9:15 on the red line. More tremors, minor earthquakes. Then we go up throughout the afternoon. We have harmonic tremors back again this afternoon. But what happened last night at Mount Hood? Look at this. Last night at 8:15 on this top red line. 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here. Then more tremors. On the red line here on the right-hand side after 9:15. 2.4 earthquake. On the black line here at 9:01 a.m. this morning, or 9 p.m. last night. Black line here last night, 9:01. 1.99, 2.0 earthquake. Then right behind that, a 2.0 earthquake. And throughout the night here, we see these tremors, and we're also seeing 2.0, 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes here after midnight last night. This red line here is after 12:15 on the left-hand side. Over here on the right, we're seeing 12:17, 2.6, 2.7, 2.6, 2.7, 2.6, 2.7, 3 earthquakes. Same magnitude. Basically the same magnitude. On the next black line, which is looks to be 02 a.m. this morning, tremors. Nothing but tremors after that. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, tiny tremors. Then guess what? All of a sudden, Timberline, early morning, or late morning, I should say, late morning, all of a sudden they come back, the seismologists come back to work. We'll see some minor earthquakes here again. And then the harmonic tremors after that. Now we're going to stay on the same side of Mount Hood. This time we're going to go up to the ski resort, which is halfway up to the top of the volcano. We're going to see Mount Hood Palmer Lift. Mount Hood Palmer Lift, guys. This is the BHZ channel, the main channel of Palmer Lift. This is last night. Last night we're seeing some minor tremors here. That's it. Minor tremors here. 8:15 on the red line. 8 p.m. on the black line. 8:30 on the blue line here. Tremors. 9:15, 9 p.m. all throughout the night here. Tiny tremors here. What happened this morning? What happened here late this morning? We see some tremors, don't we? Then we see more harmonic tremors. We see tremors that look like harmonic tremors, but we're also seeing increased magma here. Increased magma here inside the volcano. This is Palmer Lift up the halfway point going up the side of the volcano. The ski resort here at Mount Hood, Palmer Lift. Let's go and show you guys the BHN channel, which is VF Wave channel here at Mount Hood. Look at this. The VF Wave channel here at Mount Hood. Last night you could hardly tell this was a VF Wave channel, showing magma coming to the volcano. But later this morning and early afternoon, we have VF waves here. We have VF waves here. Yes, we have some earthquakes here, caused by the incoming magma into Mount Hood. It's very apparent what's going on here. Late afternoon after 4:15 on the bottom red line on the left-hand side. Here we are seeing minor earthquakes here, back to back, caused by incessant magma coming into the volcano here. Incessant magma coming into the volcano here. 2.0 earthquakes here. Not just tremors, but 2.0 earthquakes here as well. Look at that. Okay. That's what's going on here at Mount Hood. Now, I am next going to show you Moon, or what they used to call Bachelor Volcano, south of Mount Hood. This is in Oregon. This is in Oregon. Early evening last night, look at all these tremors here. All kinds of tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors turning into minor earthquakes, going back down to tremors again. Well, what happened after midnight last night? What happened after midnight last night? They turned off the seismograph. They completely turned off the seismograph, folks. Nothing to show. Nothing to show all morning long. Not a thing. It's blank. They turned off the seismograph this morning, late last night, I should say. They turned off late last night at Bachelor Volcano, or what they call Moon. MOON is a code for Bachelor Volcano on the PSN network. That's what they're showing us here. Let's go south here. Okay. I want to show you Newberry Volcano now. Newberry Volcano. Look at this, guys. Newberry Volcano last night. Yes, we're seeing some tremors. Lots of tremors here. All kinds of tremors here last night. And then this afternoon, once the seismologists come back late morning here, all of a sudden we see some earthquakes here. We see some earthquakes here. 10:15 this morning, we see some 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here. Newberry Volcano here. Newberry Crater. After 11:15 on the left-hand side on the red line, we go right here. We see some 2.6, 2.7s. And after that, another 2.5, 2.6. Then we see some 2.0 earthquakes here again after approximately 3:15 this afternoon on this red line here on the left-hand side. Newberry Crater, Oregon. Newberry Crater, Oregon. I've got more. Newberry Crater, North Rim. Last night. Look at the tremors here and earthquakes at North Rim, Newberry Crater. Look at this. 2:15 this morning. 2.4, 2.5 this morning. 2.4, 2.5 this morning at approximately 2:02, 2:03 this morning. And possibly 2.0 earthquakes at 1 o'clock this morning. 1:15, I should say, this morning on the red line here. Unreal. What happens here this afternoon? Nothing. Tiny tremors at best. Newberry Crater North Rim. Then I want to show you some more here. Actually, I don't. I was going to show you Sichel, which is inside another crater, a Newberry volcano, but they turned off the seismograph. Turned off the seismograph at that volcano. Sichel, C-H-H-L, C-I-H-L. Go over to PNSN and see it. Doesn't show anything at all. Not a thing. They turned it off. They turned it plain off. Sad. Let's go further south to Sisters Volcano in Oregon. Sisters Volcano in Oregon. Look at this. Last night after 8:15, 8 p.m. on the black line bill. After that, these are tremors here. Nothing but tremors here. Then the seismologists leave for the night. They turn down the seismograph so it's not going to report any information. Then suddenly they come back to work this morning. Then we're starting to see some 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here. Yes, we're still seeing some tremors here, but we're seeing here a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake after 10, I want to say 10:20, 10:24 a.m. this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. After 12 noon, or 12, I want to say 12:17, 12:18 this afternoon, 2.0 earthquake again. Activity at Sisters Volcano. Now, guys, Sisters Volcano is not just one volcano, it's three. Sisters Volcano consists of 3 volcanoes. But there's only one seismograph covering those volcanoes. There's only one seismograph covering those volcanoes. Crazy, isn't it? Absolutely is. Only one seismograph covering 3 volcanoes there. Sisters North, Sisters Central, and Sisters South volcanoes. I don't know where the seismograph is located, but it's only covering 3 volcanoes. That's not likely, guys. That's not likely. It might be covering just one of those volcanoes, but they're not telling us which one. They're not telling us which one. That's pretty sad. That's pretty sad. Does anybody have any questions for me? Does anybody have any questions for me? I know it's late. It's almost 8 p.m. I came on the air a little bit late because I was trying to get some more information, but I wasn't able to do it. But guys, this is what happens. This is what happens here. Okay? Now, before I leave here, I want to leave you with a small spiritual thought from the scriptures. In Moses, the apocryphal scriptures, Moses chapter 1, verse 39. We are all children of Heavenly Father. We have come to earth to have the opportunity to learn, grow, and become more like Him, so we can return to His presence. We cannot become like Him or return to Him without divine help. Our Heavenly Father sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to atone for our sins and break the bands of death, so we can all be resurrected. Heavenly Father in heaven, and Jesus Christ did that for us. We owe everything to them. I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you being here. God be with you guys. God be with you until we meet again. I love you guys. You guys are everything to me. That's why I still do this channel. YouTube has almost cut us off. They're not giving me real data of all the people watching this channel. One day last week, we had as many as 1,800 people watching this channel. 1,800. Now they're just showing as many as 200 or 300. Sometimes as late as yesterday. Yesterday showed us 112 people watching this channel at our highest. 112 people. But during the night, more people watch this channel. Over 300 people watched this channel last night. But that's not still good enough. That's not good enough. I think that is only a fraction of the people watch our channel. Let me tell you why. If we would have had 300 people watch our channel, even if they only watch 1 minute, that would have given us 3 hours of entertainment. That would have given us 3 hours of channel watch on last night's program. But YouTube only showed us 10 minutes of watch time. 10 minutes of watch time for 300 people having watched this channel. That's insane. If those 300 people only watched 1 minute, that would have given us 3 hours of watch time. Now, let's go back to that day last week where we had 1,800 people watch this channel. Very interesting. That would have given us hours and hours of watch time. 18,000 hours of watch time. Guess what it showed? 7 minutes of watch time. 7 minutes of watch time, guys. That's insane. That's insane. I appreciate all you guys that watch this channel. All you guys that also share the channel with your loved ones, your friends and neighbors, people you associate with here on social media. We appreciate that very much. I love you guys. You guys are the best family we could have. I send out our greatest thanks and offering our blessings to all of us. Guys, please also pray for our fellow EMA family members that are in need. Sleeping Volcano, my dear friend Dawn Patoka. Hurricane Heather's going through some things right now. She can need our prayers. Renee Steffi's here. Linda Covington's here. I'm sure George Rashad would appreciate some prayers as well. I'm sure even other people on this channel would also appreciate our prayers. Heidi Petrick, for example, who lives up here in northern Washington, who feels these earthquakes where she lives in northern Washington. Yes, she does feel them, guys. She's told me such. She's sent me emails. She's sent me messages here and told me she's felt those earthquakes. Thank you for being here, Heidi. Thank you for being here, Sleeping Volcano. Thank you for being here, Heather. Thank you for being here, John and Laura, Renee, Heidi, George Rashad, and all the others that are watching us. Thank you for being here. May God bless you. May God be with you this whole day and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true. helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.